This is a newly fledged pair. I pulled the nest box when the oldest chick is 25 days old because that keeps the hen from resetting and keeps both parents feeding the babies. Her oldest chick here is huge, but she seems to be rejecting him a lot. She's been pretty stressed because she's been worried about these over here hurting her babies. So I put up a barrier so they can't see each other, and she seems to be calming down. But she's picking on the babies. Look at that little guy, though. He is huge. At 3 weeks, he stands up taller than she does, and he has huge feet. His little brother is normal size, and also, I suspect, is a feather duster. We will be watching his development as we go, but he seems to have too many feathers, too many pin feathers on his body to be a normal bird. So we're watching to see what's going to happen. Right now, of course, he's just got pin feathers, so he looks fine, but feather dusters are birds that have too many feathers. She's really rejecting them. I'm wondering if I should pull her out and just let Bond finish. The bigger chick is eating himself and feeding the little one. But I haven't seen a parent feed them yet. So, they're both eating. I mean, they're both getting fed because the older one eats the spray millet. There's also a ceramic water dish on the bottom of the cage so that they can drink out of that. And they learn to drink out of it pretty much instantly. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to watch these guys. These guys you see how I put construction paper? That is actually builder's paper. I have a giant roll of it. I cut it out and fold it up to wrap around the edges of the cage so the babies are walking on a regular surface. These guys, I just pulled their box. The oldest chick is 25 days, and Mom was sitting in that box without feeding babies, which is generally the first sign that she's getting ready to turn. So I brought these guys out. This is Dad. That's Neptune. Look at this little guy. That's Neptune and Mist. And these two are their babies, and I believe they're both grays, like their mama. And this little guy in the back is a foster. This is Limey and Marine's baby. He's a regular green. That's his mother, Marine, right there, who is not being bred anymore because there's something wrong with her hips. I think she's got like hip dysplasia, Brady style or something. But she dropped an egg in the bottom of the cage, and I put it in there, and it hatched. And so I got a nice little light green bird, split to Texas Clear Body. And that's Marine's last chick. So they seem to be doing okay. Mom is settling down a little faster over here. I wish Remington would behave herself. I'd like to see somebody feeding these chicks besides them feeding themselves. I'm hoping that divider will help her calm down. I pulled their box yesterday. You gonna feed that baby in a sec? Okay, that looks a little bit more like motherhood there. piece of charred stem thing, whatever. Lilith is a good mom, and she's brought up 2 successful batches of chicks. But this other hen next door has just really had her stressed out. So hopefully the divider will let her calm down. Apparently old Hunter over here isn't causing any problems at all. It's just this hen. This hen is in the box. So perhaps she's just worried about hens and not cocks. So I have a lot of birds in here right now. Bubba and Narcissa have a bunch of babies in here. They're going to get their box pulled in a couple more days. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at all those little babies. Oh, let's see what our wings look like. Yeah, nice little normal. And this guy is very light. I suspect this bird is a dilute, like Mama. Which would mean that, on this one I can't tell you that, which would mean that Bubba is supposed to dilute. He said, get off my baby. So, that's interesting. I didn't know he was split to dilute. And this is Mars and Athena. And they have 4 or 5 more days to go before their box gets pulled. You can see their chicks are markedly smaller. And I think they're all yellow-based, like Daddy. Yeah, that's a yellow base. That's a yellow base. And that's a yellow base. Okay, everybody's looking good. Fat little baby. So, here's Peabody. Peabody has had a heck of a time. He is Rainbow's grandson, and I have never gotten any chicks out of him. I put him with a hen last time, and he didn't breed her. So, she ended up being a foster mom, and he raised a bunch of babies, but I didn't get any babies out of him. He is Storm and Azul's son. So, this time I set him up with... I started out setting up with Cerulean, and it turns out Cerulean, now I got Cerulean from a guy that, to be fair, told me he hadn't gotten her to have any live chicks. She kept having blank eggs. But I'm like, the blank eggs is usually the cock's problem, not the hen. So I said, well, I'll give her a try. So I got her cheap, and I brought her out, quarantined her, put her in with Peabody, and the minute I put a box on the cage, she turned on Peabody and started trying to kill him. So I pulled out Peabody and put a different male in there, same thing. And basically what it comes down to is she's got some kind of mental glitch going on where she needs to defend her nest box from all comers, including her own mate. Which explains why she always lays blank eggs, because she's not breeding. She's treating them all as invaders. So I'm thinking she's probably not workable. So this other hen that I have him with now is Azure. And she was ready to go and hot to try. And again, I got her from a guy that said blank eggs. So it was kind of an experiment. They bred and bred and bred. She laid 3 eggs, but they all had very, very thin shells. And when a hen has eggs with thin shells, it doesn't feel like she's laying an egg. It feels like she's going number 2. So she laid all her eggs in the poop pile in the corner of the cage. All 3 of them. And then stopped laying because she ran out of calcium. So she's depleted, probably from attempted breedings from the other breeder. And she's not going to make any babies at this time. But there could be a psychological glitch there too. Maybe she just doesn't know she's supposed to lay her eggs in a in a nest box, so I put a couple of foster eggs in there with her, and she took to them instantly and started sitting on them. So they were blanks from another nest. So I waited for a few days to make sure she'd accept the eggs, and then I put 2 real embryos in there. One from Sky and Buster, and one from Cookie and Aphrodite. So she has 2 real eggs to sit on, and the reason I only gave her 2 is because I'm going to pull Peabody tonight and put him back out in the flight cage and find him another hen to breed with, because I want some babies out of this cock, and she's not in condition to do it. Now what's going to happen is if she hatches out those 2 embryos on her own, she's going to end up getting calcium in her water 5 days a week to prop her up, to make sure that the chicks don't go, you know, rickets on me. I've removed, I have too many cases of rickets happening, so I removed oyster shell from their diet. I got some commercial mineral blocks made specifically for budgies. I used to give them bigger ones for bigger birds because they were bigger, and I have 100 birds, but as it turns out, they're too hard for them to chew. The ones they make for, you know, the smaller parrots and stuff are too hard for them to chew, so they're not really getting anything out of them. So between oyster shell, which they never touch and get nothing out of, and mineral blocks that were too hard for them to chew, my birds tend to be low on calcium. So I'm changing it up. I'm going to I have a friend that makes her own mineral blocks, and she's going to show me how she does it, because buying the commercial ones for 100 birds is too expensive, because they're tiny, as you can see, and they'll decimate them pretty quickly. But they're decidedly softer, so I'm upping my calcium setup here. I'm very excited about, this is Alfalfa. As you can see, he's crested. He's half parakeet and half English budgie, which is not ideal, but the best I could do. And he's in there with Shakti, with 3 embryos, and their hatch date's coming up Friday the 29th, so we got a week to go on them. These guys are going to hatch out in a few days, their first chick. So there's a big space between hatches, but that's okay, because I'm going to need these cages for more pairs that I have coming in. So see her standing, she's like, okay, there's a barrier now. They're not actually near my chicks, but I'm going to watch you anyway. And James Bond is like, come on, honey, just relax. Our babies are fine. These little guys are taking this all very calmly. They're all, of course, the 2 gray ones are a few days apart. The oldest one is this guy right here, and he is only 3 days older than the other 2, so they're all very close in age. Now, if you left them alone, they wouldn't come out of the nest box for much longer, but their hen would go in, start laying eggs, and either kill them to get rid of them, or stop feeding them and let them die of starvation. Either way, it's not a good outcome. So I pull nest boxes at 25 days to stop disaster from happening, because that auto reset comes very fast. And it's way too soon for these giant babies to adapt. This is Poseidon, and this is another new hen that I got, who, again, I got a group of 3 of them where the guy was like, you know, they've never given me eggs, fertile eggs. So Poseidon is in love with, this is Cyan. He is in love with her, and she is scared to death of me. So every time I come in, she's sitting on that perch right where she is right now, watching me. You can see she's watching me right now. And I've been in there for like maybe a week now. Yeah, maybe a week. Nothing looks like it's happening. But I've had this before, hens that were scared of me. So he acts like he's in love with her, even though she doesn't respond when I'm standing around. She must be responding when I'm not, or he would have given up. The other thing is, even though I have never seen her in the box, I see a few little wood shavings down there, right? I don't know if you can see them right there, which would tell me that she has indeed been in that box and she started housekeeping. So I think they're moving in the right direction very slowly, and she's such a nice high-value hen that I will give her time. They get a whole nother week or more to tell me that they're setting up shop before I break them out. There's Apollo, and he is in here with Luna. And they are on eggs. And there's good old Kobe down there, and his Coco is in there. They're doing their last breeding. I checked for fertility. Their first 3 eggs, they had 1 fertile. I'm like, okay, I'll take one, because they give me very high-value chicks. So, and there is Kelly and Hunter, who I'm hoping to get a dilute out of. So, it's all good. So that is the breeding shed, and I'll give you an update pretty soon.